Have you ever heard that song by Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again? I'm not going to name this video that, but really, this video is a little mea culpa. I mean, I really did it again. I talked about interest rates. Can you believe it? I keep saying in the videos, I should not be talking about interest rates. I really don't know where they're going to go or what they're going to do, but I was so confident. I had been through so many industry meetings with industry insiders and financial forecasters, and they kept saying we were going to get a interest rate cut from the feds, therefore it should trickle down, give us a good, better mortgage rate this fall. I mean, they were all saying March. I'm not kidding. If you say this to another realtor or a lender, I am positive they'll agree with me. So I predicted the rates would go down in March, and they're not going to go down in March. And I shouldn't have been talking about them. I shouldn't have been forecasting them because the market is so squirrely. It always has been, but the interest rates have been really, really hard to predict. And sure enough, the jobs report had great numbers, and those great numbers indicated inflation is high or it's not coming down. And with that, the interest rates will not come down because they don't like inflation. And so it tends to make them go up a little bit. And when those jobs number came in, made inflation look not so great, made that not look good. And here we are. Now, the latest I've heard, now I'm not planning, or I am not forecasting the interest rates are going to come down in July. I just heard someone else say that the next possible rate cut could be in July. So if you're a buyer and you're thinking you're not quite ready yet, hey, your market might still be out there. And if there was any good news to any of this, it may keep the just spring flurry down. It won't. It's already been a busy market. We have the highest amount of cash sales ever in the market. I think cash is coming in and creating a lot of pressure on prices in this low inventory environment. So here we are. So that's my mea culpa on the rates. I was wrong. They're not going down. So far, they're just holding pretty tight. I just looked. They're still in the 7 range, which is such a bummer. I mean, we really hope they would go down a little bit, but that's it. So let me finish up this market update at the end here of February. I can kind of give a recap. I'm going to go over some listings, and then I'm going to just talk a little bit about what our economic forecaster within Compass has talked about, a few things, and I want to touch on those there. So for the last week, we had 54 new listings, which is awesome. 15, though, in the last week have had their price decreased. So what does that tell you? Contingent 17. That's just under contract. Pending means all the contingencies are removed and they're moving into the close phase. They're, I guess at that point you would say they're fully committed. 20 sold, 1 expired, and 6 canceled in the last week, which I think is interesting. We're not at the end of the month where you'll see listings canceled. Usually people wait till the end of the month. I mean, we're pretty close to the end of the month, but I think that's kind of interesting. Did those people just change their mind, or they, why did that happen? Hey, and I want to touch up on something in the market a little bit too. So there was 2 transactions that fell through for the last week. And in the last couple of years, I've always talked, the transaction falling through will kind of give you a little bit of a flavor for what buyers are thinking about in the market. Like if the transaction fall through rate is high, that means that people are getting nervous. Maybe they think they've bid too much and they want to jump out, or they can't get their loan, or back in the day, I mean, I think about between 2009 and 2013, we'd see them fall through just because people lost their jobs. There's only 2 this week. But at the same time, I want to caution you on that transaction falling through. We don't see as many of them anymore because there's usually another buyer in backup that will come swoop in and grab the house. And I'll give you an example. I had 2 listings last year. I mean, I didn't just have 2 listings, but I had 2 listings where this happened, where the first buyer, they got shaky and they wanted out. And they just, for whatever, they didn't want the property, because I had a few fixer-uppers, and those are harder. Buyers get a little nervous, especially if the interest rates are going up, or they feel like the mortgage rate environment is sketchy for them. It's hard to look at a property that needs a lot of work, and and their interest rates are going up. I mean, like, the cost of it is going up, so they may leave the transaction. In both those cases, I called up the other buyers that have bid on it or were in the wings, and I said, "Hey, is your buyer still interested?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." And I moved them right in. It didn't change the status on the MLS or in your Zillow app or anywhere else you might have been looking. You wouldn't have been aware that that happened. So it might give you the impression that buyers weren't changing their minds or losing their jobs or deciding Santa Cruz isn't for them. It used to be an indicator of it, but because of the amount of buyers that are in the market and the low inventory situation, we just don't always really get a true indication of what people are really doing within the real estate market. So it used to be kind of an indicator, but it's starting to be less of one in this market. So that, I just thought that was kind of interesting and wanted to touch on that. What I also wanted to let you know about that I had been experiencing is I have been doing open houses, and I've been in broker tours, and it's busy out there, and the open houses are super busy. I was at an open house. I helped work at one in San Jose. It had 45 groups. Now, I realize this isn't the same market, but this is a testimony to consumer sentiment. Over 45 groups, and she got 18 offers. It went about 75,000 over, maybe 60,000 over. And they were all getting loans. None of it was cash. Some of them had good down payments, but that is a real strong indicator of consumer sentiment. They are out there. They're tired of waiting. They're going to jump in because as maybe the prices of properties don't, actual list price doesn't go up with the interest level, which is high, it will cause that price to go up. And buyers are thinking now, well, okay, I didn't like the interest rate, but now I'm looking at where I might be looking at higher prices. Maybe I should get in the market now. There's a lot of new listings coming up. The pipeline for Compass of coming listings is very, very high, and it's higher than last year. So far, still listing inventory is fairly low. Touching on consumer sentiment one more time, our financial analysis are consumers are starting to feel better about the economy, and when they do that, they buy, and they may not be so concerned with the interest rates because now at this point they're ready to just get in the market. The other thing I want to touch on, I just wanted to remind everybody that foreclosures are still not a thing. And I know that when people see high interest rates and maybe even see some job losses, I know that tech has been laying some people off. People get this idea they're going to get a foreclosure, but U.S. foreclosure activity increases, but still below pre-pandemic levels. Super, super low. There are Americans that are sitting on tremendous equity right now. Almost 40% own their home free and clear. 33% have mortgages that are about 50%, and then the other 30% have mortgage homes with less than 50% equity, but still a lot of people are sitting on equity. And then here's something else I want to leave you with because, boy, 10 minutes goes fast and I was talking so much. There are still 1 in 4 people that believe that prices will go down. Now, I'm going to go out on a ledge where I started this video. I'm going to end there, and I'm going to make a prediction, and that is I don't think prices are going to go down. I think you're going to see some houses that didn't do so well, and they might have to take a price cut, or they were priced a little high and they have to take a price cut. But overall, just by and large, a big swath of properties getting a percentage decrease. We're just not seeing it. So I hope that market update had some good information for you. Of course, call me, email me, text me if you have any questions outside of that. If you're thinking of buying or selling and you want to know what's going on. And then also, each morning, really, we literally wake up to a new real estate market. And you may have questions today, but next week it could be completely different, especially as the economic reports come in. They kind of make things kind of go up and down. So feel free to call me, email me, of course, or text me, at the time that you're actually ready, and we'll review it at that point. Please follow me on my socials and like, subscribe, and share, comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I am going to put the economic forecast in the show notes that you'll see here on YouTube. And if you're getting an email from me, you'll see the link to it there. If you want to read through it. It has a lot of good info. I hope this helped you, and I can't wait to talk with you soon. Thanks. Bye.